As you reach to push open the heavy door, the coils and whirls of engraved wood dance into a new pattern. The semblance of a face arises, a face that seems to look right through you.
Why are you here? Tell me, and mind that you tell me true.
Silence greets your answer. In the distance, you hear the screech of an eagle. Worryingly closer, you hear some kind of a moan. Time passes. At last, the lips on the door creak open, and the door speaks.
Enter.
The face melts back into the wood of the door, and the whirls swirl back into a floral pattern. A loud metallic click can be heard from deep within.
Viper lives well, it seems. Pity the location's so undesirable.
You can barely hide your surprise. He's speaking the old tongue. It's rare to hear it in the Empire, and you never hear it in these savage lands. You wish you'd paid more attention to your tutors. You recognize the language, but you can't make out a word. You can barely... You wish you'd...
Something.
A visitor? Such a rare and exquisite pleasure.
The elf tilts his head backwards, but his squinted eyes don't stray from yours.
Call me Riker. Please, do avail yourself of my creature comforts. You've surely come a long way.
He grins and waves his hand dismissively.
Nothing to be concerned with, I assure you. Mere husks. I enjoy living grandly. I know these aren't ordinary servants, but I prefer the extraordinary. There is no pleasure in mediocrity. Don't you agree, Godwoken? Don't be so naive. My doors only open on the occasion of truth. What you admit to them, you admit to me. I also see you are not yet whole.
He presses a slender forefinger against his tight lips and hums.
I'm not a generous man, but I could give you what you seek if you offer something in return. A completely fair exchange between sorcerers. You must go to the Black Pits. There's a cavern there. In it, you'll find a stone tablet of considerable value.
He points to the location on your map.
Bring it to me.
Dizziness. It lasts just a moment, but long enough for you to feel Zorstis's presence. You hear no words, yet understand. It's imperative you accept Riker's bargain. The episode passes. Riker is peering at you intently. He awaits your reply.
It's a miracle of the ancients. Priceless, really, and powerful enough to draw the Magister's attentions. I won't bore you with further detail. Suffice it to say, it is safer in my hands than in theirs. I would think that obvious, my dear. You're dying to show off those smoldering talents of yours. You just don't know how to handle them. I can help you with that. I can share my bond with the Source with you, fill your well to the brim, make you a master. The rest of the story, well, it's yours to write. Oh, but heading to the Black Pits would mean tangling with more Magisters, and they're such a nuisance. I like keeping my hands clean, you see. A promise you'd best fulfill.
Riker bows his head deeply.
Then you'll have the power you seek, if not the power that trumps it. There will always be one greater, you know. Now please, don't let me keep you. Tarquin. Ah, that must be the fellow I found snooping in unwanted places. There are some types, deceitful types, that don't deserve to be among a place of such treasure. He doesn't appreciate what the dead can do for us, my friend.
He turns the back of his hand towards you and waves it back and forth, nudging you away.
Do be sure to see yourself out. These tomes demand my attention.
This part is gated off from the rest. Whoever is buried here must have been important.
Here rests the human hero Garrick. He served Lucien the Divine with immense skill and slew the necromancers who preyed upon the dead of Stone Garden Cemetery. The implements of his heroism shall rest at the site of his victory. Here rests the elven hero Halla. He served Lucian the Divine with great vigor and defended the farmers who feed Reaper's Coast against pitiless bandits. The implements of his heroism shall rest at the site of his victory. Here rests the lizard hero Vidia. She served Lucian the Divine with great dignity and vanquished the strange beasts that arose from the primordial caverns of Reaper's Coast. The implements of her heroism shall rest at the site of her victory. Here rests the dwarven hero Bromley. She served Lucian the Divine with honor and cast out the demons that plagued the great woodlands. The implements of her heroism shall rest at the site of her victory. Suddenly, the earth churns and buckles upwards in several places. Some things are trying to rise to the surface.
Godwoken! You must fall! The God King demands it!
You must fall, so that we may rise!
Let your blood quench our roots so we may grow.
The covenant shall be fulfilled.
Die, Godwoken!
These graves shall be yours now, Godwoken. snow.
The heroes of Driftwood lie at your feet, dead for good this time.
They were heroes, supposedly. If they can be corrupted, maybe we can too.
They spoke of a covenant. What could that mean?
There must be some other pulling the strings of these ghouls.
This place is corrupt. We should not linger.
It's hard not to feel some pride in reptilian engineering. I watched an elf spend hours trying to force his way into a lizard's chest. Eventually, he threw it into the flames. But still it sits there, indestructible. He did not leave empty-handed, unfortunately. I pity the poor salamander that he dragged back to his ghastly home.
The spirit does not respond to your presence.
A cremation pyre. From fire to ash. From ember to flame.
The spirit sings a long-forgotten tune in a long-forgotten language. One, it seems, with the ever-revolving wheels of space and time. The boots are resplendent with polished ivory, heavy but well made, fit for a noble. The air around you glows with sudden heat. Specks of ash fall from the sky, summoning a fractured memory. Dig, work, deeper. By the Empress's order, you have to go deeper. As the memory fades, ghostly flames flicker on the surface of the polished sabatons.
I see you. You have the strength I've been looking for. Patience. You must prove yourself worthy of such answers. Find where the archaeologist cut into the earth. I will draw strength from there to speak again.
The voice vanishes, but the bone-deep longing remains. You must dig in the east. You must. A terrible chill pervades the air as the ashen vision fades. Someone new is watching you. The spirit of a dwarf frowns at you, suspicion drawing the lines of his face deep.
I don't hear any pickaxes. No shovels. Where are my lazy diggers? We can't be wasting time. The Empress will have me head, and then all of yours. Haven't you seen the excavation site? There's real treasure there. Bones of the beast. The site's close. It has to be. There's more stones to break, more earth to turn. We need to get there.
voices. The wisdom of elven ascendants. An ancestor tree!
The spirit ignores your presence, busy as it is resisting the pull of another, the ancestor tree, trying to take its source. All you feel is the spirit's resistance, and its anger, directed at the mother tree that has betrayed it. The spirit ignores your presence, busy as it is resisting the pull of another, the ancestor tree, trying to take its source. All you feel is its resistance, and its hate for the rebellious scion. The spirit ignores your presence, busy as it is resisting the pull of The roots of a great ancestor tree reach from deep underground to the surface above and beyond. But this tree feels tainted. You are a scion of the elves. The mother tree demands your blood. You do not have a choice. She has a plan, and you must serve her with your death. You heed your mother's wishes and take root. But then you hear a voice, a friendly whisper from beyond. The voice knows you. He understands you. He loves you. He offers you your freedom and asks but one small service in return. Grateful, you accept. In an instant, you are an elf once more, walking in the world. But your new friend begins to make demands. Small services, then larger and more often. They cause you pain. At last, he bids you guard your tree. He expects you shall have guests. You shall kill the Godwoken when they come. Then you shall be free. The thought occurs. The scion replaced one bad deal with another.
How very unfortunate for him.
He was a child rebelling against a tyrannical mother. The mother tree is at fault.
Some people have all the bad luck.
To trade one's soul for immortality and then lose out on your prize? That is unfortunate, no matter the circumstances.
Help! I'm down here! A mind of this magnitude shouldn't be cursed to live like this. Can you dig me up? Well, I used to be... Wait, who did I used to be? I can say with confidence who I am now, at least. A thinker, the likes of which you've never known and never will. Don't worry, there's nothing funny about me. Oh, just...
The skeleton tries to brush the dirt from his clattering bones, then frowns. The moistest bits are still stuck in his cracks and crevices.
Thanks. You're probably looking for a reward, but I haven't got much. Except, you know, the wisdom of the ages.
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
I'm a bit of a philosopher, you see. Not much else to be, what with all that thinking time. Are you questioning my intellect? You think you say more sooth than me, a verified soothsayer.
The skeleton pauses and sighs, then straightens his spine with a clatter.
A soul bond will settle it. A battle of wits. Then the cosmos itself will decide who can better face the truth of our own essence, me or you. A weak soul may not survive the bond, but I'm sure you'll be just fine. Battle is dangerous, is it not? I find it to be true anyway, even when you're battling your own mortality. The angst can prove terminal to the weak-willed. Oh, it's easy. We link up souls and share our innermost beliefs. Think of it like an innocent little duel. The winner remains comfortable with their personal truths. The loser, well, I don't blame you. To brush shoulders with someone of my stature must be overwhelming.
spotted something.
This creature is as blank as a silent monk. Dark magic at work.
The headless statue looms over you. Its plinth bears the same rotation scratches as its counterpart. The plinth of the statue bears a series of deep, circular scratches upon its stone. The statue can be rotated. The sculpture looks impossibly heavy, yet turns with little effort. The statue rotates.
We're an example!
In death, the dwarves give eagles life. An elegant passing for an inelegant people.
The spirit is dressed in tattered ceremonial garb. Eagle feathers tangle in his beard, and bird droppings decorate his robes. He surveys the circling flock with evident satisfaction.
My faithful eagles work still. They know their duty. They leave me not. See my feather fall here, prime among my flock. He won't leave my body till naught remains but bleached bone. Hurts, my dear girl, no. All I feel is pride. My feather fall knows just how to slice and just what to chew. He eats to free me, to free this spirit from its earthly ties. With each peck, I am closer to the Hall of Echoes.
We died glorious deaths.
You watch yourself. There's a voice whispering promises to the dead around here. Word is that they'll be walking about with flesh on their bones again if they send you to the Hall of Echoes. You're God-woken, ain't you? You've a certain something about your aura. Don't ask me why. But someone out there's got it in for you and everyone like you.
Watching the birds pick your body clean is almost soothing. At least you know you're doing some good for a creature. And it means that elf ain't getting his claws on my corpse. Not mine specifically, but he creeps from grave to sepulchre, taking what he wants. Whatever he wants.
A grim expression passes across her face as she looks out over the graveyard.
The dead don't rest easy in this garden. Not by half. He lives in the big house by the gate. I ain't about to wander up and ask for a name, mind you. The less I see of him, the happier I'll rest.
Two dwarven spirits at loggerheads. In a flash, you are both of them, brother and sister. Your feminine side is a rebel, rising up against the tyrannical queen. Your masculine side is a royalist, loyal to the monarch he loves. As the brother, you rescue your sister from the pikes of the royal guard. Together, you flee across the sea to the melting pot of Driftwood and Reaper's Coast. But in Driftwood, you visit the lizard. You are the sister, and you know that something is wrong. You climb the stairs to rescue your brother, and find him fighting for his life against the dwarves who would rob him. Both of you die, but your killers do right by their fellow dwarves, and bring you here to lay you to rest. As spirits, you fight for eternity, one convinced that the queen is a tyrant, the other that your treason was wrong. The sister smiles. She feels vindicated. Her brother still does not agree. The rebellion was a disaster. The rebellion was a mistake that cost them their lives. The eagle glowers at you balefully, with eyes like shiny little buttons. One manicured and beribboned claw shoots forth to claim the stringy offal before him. Stretching his neck forward, he peers closely at you.
Pretty eyes. Eyes that see far.
The eagle's own eyes glitter with avarice.
Master tied them on. Pretty ribbons. Match my pretty claws. Match your pretty eyes.
Peck, peck, peck. The eagle pecks free some choice lump of gristle from deep within the corpse. He swallows it whole, dark blood dripping from his beak and matting the fluffy feathers at his throat.
Master died, but Master told me what to do. All my life told me you are what you eat. So I do. I will become the Master. Unless you are not the new Master, are you? And if you want to be my Master, you must first become the Master. You are what you eat.
You chew it for what seems like forever, yet the texture does not change in your mouth. Tough yet moist, leathery yet slippery. It's disgusting. Sometimes you really wonder about how you make choices in life. Sometimes, like now. The eagle hops from claw to claw, peering up at you with a berserk and bird-like excitement.
See? Feel it? The power!
A hacking caw breaks free from his ebony beak. Those little button eyes seem to twinkle in the gloom.
Yes, kidney. Good for courage, good for warrior. You will fight well, now Master's blood runs within you. Featherfall is with you. Together, we go together from here.
Featherfall hops eagerly onto your shoulder and digs his claws in deep. He pecks your cheek in what could charitably be called an affectionate manner. Blood drips from the wound. At least he didn't go for your eyes.
We died glorious deaths.
We were picked off by spies. There was no glory and no point to it either.
Biting deep into the rotting flesh, your senses are assailed with a rank odor of meat long past its prime. Your memory wavers and becomes not your own, but the memory of one who led the most solitary of lives. You see myriad wings flapping, your hand scattering birdseed. You hear the screeching of eagles, the tearing of flesh. All of your life is centered on this place, this pedestal of death. All of your life is dedicated to feeding your eagles the meat of your dearly departed people.
We died glorious deaths.
We were picked off by spies. There was no glory and no point to it either.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never
You
forget.
needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Never seen anything like it.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs locked in a vat of vinegar. I don't come visit you, Tom. Who will? There's a lot of call for the junk you've sent, Flynn.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients.
Vapid fiction along the large helping of heaven.
Until later, then.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients.
Vapid fiction along the large helping of heaven. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
That will protect against voidwaken.
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. The voidwaken? God knows what'd stop those beasts.
Worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over.
Buying or selling?
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Did you know our arena champion's a bloody cheat, stranger? Murger tricked me and bit off my earlobe before the fight had even started. down for a little scuffling and tussling? Let's see if you got some fight in you. That's the spirit. But I've got to tell you, you'll probably want to see Murga round the corner before you draw blood. She's the champion, and she's fair particular about who she'll fight. She'll want to talk with you herself before she'll assent to any challenge. Watch your words, mind. She takes against you, there'll be no talking yourself into her good graces again. On your way, then.
Good gods! Is there a void woken down there? Must be one strong force field keeping it in.
In the shadows, a dwarven woman spits obscenities down upon a caged void woken. She exudes a powerful air of menace and an even more powerful odor of old sweat and dried blood. She spies you and glowers.
More fodder for the arena. Let Murga the champion test how good your reflexes are.
Curling her torn lip back over broken teeth, she grabs your hand and pulls you down to the ale-soaked table. Never losing eye contact, she begins arm wrestling you.
Get a few bruises on your face and then we'll talk. And why should a lion fight a pussycat?
Murga raises one surprisingly delicate eyebrow.
Ah! Go talk to the raucous one. Tell him I sent you, and he'll set you up for a challenge. Prove yourself worthy fighting my acolytes blindfolded. Then, I'll knock your teeth out.
Figure it's time to prove yourself. Let's get it done. Is that so? Well, looks like the crowd'll get its money's worth, for sure. You accept her challenge, do you? Your call. Not everyone can rise to Murga's levels. She's got enough venom to put a snake to shame. In any case, you're in for a treat, lass. Better than sweet cream stew on Lucian's day. Who's coming along with you? It's your only chance, so put your thinking cap on.
She appraises you, unsmiling.
Nice to see the cub has some claws. You drew blood. Enough to know you're alive. But you removed your blindfold in the arena. You failed my challenge. Now I'll never taste my victory in your blood. Try your luck somewhere else, ducky.
Nice show out there. You're smouldering, ya. Margaret ain't among the living no more. The shame it is. Strong enough to carry an ox on her back and still goad you to throw on another. Slow that gallop, troll jockey. What makes you think I should let you do that? All right, lass. Colour me convinced. Excited, even. Seriously, this ought to be good. You're only getting the one shot, so keep your eye on the prize. Who's coming with you?
The dwarf bounces up and down with glee, then catches himself and clears his throat. He bows before you.
Extraordinary, son. Just extraordinary. The spirit of the One has yet to settle, but it hovers near. It knows your great feat. I feel the glow. Ain't just praise you're earning, though. Giving you this key, too. It's an arena champ tradition. Takes you to treasure, it does. And only a champ can survive that journey.
The dwarf bellows out to all within earshot.
I proclaim thee the champion of the Driftwood Arena. Get your gloat on, take a swig of ale. Hell, take a dozen. We'll be singing for years to come of the great scaled Void Slayer.
Justinian executes 24 noblemen for insubordination.
High terrain, good cover. The perfect place for an ambush.
Creeping little flies. Go back! Get out of my realm!
See how the worms crawl. Interesting.
They look like Lohar's crew. But did you see their eyes?
Yes. Black as the grave.
What was that voice? It wouldn't stop. It just wouldn't stop. It was like razors in my brain. I thought it sounded familiar, but different. I can't quite remember.
What am I doing here? I thought I was in the cave.
The dwarf looks around in confusion, quietly talking to itself. It seems oblivious to you.
Whatever happened here, it was a massacre.
I swear, I should have expected nothing less. They wander across a tragedy, and how do they spend their time? Gawking at the dead like they're nothing more than a sack of cloth and flesh to be looted. Bloody parasite. Wait, can you see me? Elves, teeth. How'd you manage that?
The dwarf's eyes narrow, and he squares his shoulders. His hand seems to instinctively drop to his waist.
That a fact. And here I thought our darling Bishop Alexander was the only one. So God-woken and powerful, eh? Powerful enough to control mind? To force brothers to draw steel against each other? Well, someone out there can. As sure as the sea's wet. We were doing some work round these parts. Smuggling, stealing, removing the odd witness. You know, bread and butter stuff. We were sitting here, eating, drinking, telling tales. When some of the lads, their eyes turned black as pitch. Next thing I know, my best mate's buried his dagger in my gut. And there's void woken everywhere you look. Them that didn't die were carried off to the cave. Might be I was the lucky one, lying there, bleeding out. Heh, was the day I'd have to cut you just for asking. Don't suppose it makes much of a difference now. The cave was our base, where we wrecked, smuggled and stored the loot. The entrance is through the ruins over yonder. For all the good it'll do you. Might be swarming with void woken by now. Kind words. But there ain't none that'll undo what we saw. Most we can hope for now is some peace in the Hall of Echoes.
better tread softly. Somebody's in that cave.
Did you hear that?
Keep on walking, bud. You got moss for ears. Scram.
Careful now. That's a trap.
Persistent little flies. Buzz back to your dung heap.
You recall the eyes of the dwarves, black until death, when they faded to normal.
Whatever's out there, it knows we're coming. We'd better find it before it finds us.
How curious. Let us hurry. I should like to find the entity responsible for this.
There was something in the ground. Back in the cave,
The dwarf bangs his palm against his head.
Damn it! I can't think. I can't remember.
No, this ain't right. I was on duty in the cave. I was on patrol and I was alive. This ain't right. None of this is right.
Put some space between us and this lunatic!
Look out! I see a trap nearby.
The woods have grown chilly now that the sun has set. Annie shuffles across the picnic blanket and huddles against you for warmth. You wrap one arm around her and with the other conjure a little ball of flame in your palm. Little more than a party trick, but her eyes fill with wonder nonetheless. "It's so pretty," she says, resting her head against your shoulder. "I don't care what they say, what you have is a gift." She inclines her face up towards yours, lips parted slightly. You lean into her, closing your eyes. The ground drifts by hundreds of feet below you. Droplets of your blood fall away from you into space. You don't feel any pain, only a numbing cold. Your senses are fading. All you can hear is the beating of the Voidwoken's wings, and the beating of your own heart, only your heart is slowing. The Voidwoken seems to sense that you won't make it. It unleashes an outraged screech, then releases you from its grasp. The ground rushes up to meet you. You close your eyes. The spirit traces runes in the air. You recognize the gesture. It's the same one you perform when gifting others with your blessing. Your blessing leaves you as a stream and returns to you as a river. You see through the woman's eyes. You feel the discomfort of a source collar as you tug at it. Then, a clatter and a shriek. A winged Voidwoken has grasped you in its talons. It takes you to the air as you flail impotently. The Voidwoken continues its journey for hours, perhaps days. You watch as familiar land and sea pass under you until the creature slows. The talons open, first air and wind, then a thud. Blackness. Light. You peer through the fog to see two dwarves, eyes as black as coals. They are dragging you through grass and stone. "Perfect bait. The master will be pleased," drones one of them. The blessing fades. The spirit's hands are stilled. She looks to the sky, searching, then lowers her head and flashes the tiniest of smiles. The dwarf rocks back and forth, staring at nothing.
That can't have been real. Those monsters bursting out from the ground, it was just a dream. It had to be a dream.
Sorcerers. They brought in sorcerers? I can't remember. I can't remember why. I can't remember who.
The statue stands before you in silence. It reaches to the heavens, as if praying for release from its chains.
Has it turned on us or just lost its mind?
What's happening to the shrine?
As the torches around you flicker and crack to life, you hear a low groan. It starts soft, then crescendos until your chest rattles and your head buzzes.
Rackus Rex! God damn you to this hell in which I suffer! God damn these burning flames! My blood boils in on death and you ask if it hurts. The indignity fans the flames. Just when the agony subsides, more come to the shrine and put flame to the torches. They think to honor me. Instead, they incinerate me. The curse is everlasting. Whenever I am honored, I will suffer for it. Bracca saw to that. I knew him and knew his secrets. I saw his rise and fall as woven into the tapestry of time. He branded my truth as blasphemy, and I burn for it. I live that horror. The truth invites danger. Some would sooner be swallowed by the void than tell it. Wait. You. I see it. You, too, follow a path consumed by fire. You must take my gift from among the flames. With it, you will know truth. With it, you can...
The rumble reaches a deafening forte, then dissipates. The voice is gone. Only the whisper of the wind fills your ears.
enormous stone slab is covered with cryptic engravings, obscured in places by smears of dried blood.
Hey, look, a lamp.
Lying at your feet is a strange lamp of ancient design. Spots of gold shimmer through the thick grime that coats it. As you hunker down for a closer look, the lamp jerks slightly, almost imperceptibly. A crab hiding in the sand underneath scurries away. The lamp doesn't move. The lamp feels strangely hot to your touch. As you wipe away the years of dirt and grime, it trembles in your hand. Heavy smoke spills out of the spout of the lamp, falling to your feet, where it flows away from you. The vapor arches into the air and starts to take shape before you.
Who summons what? One of you?
His face twists into a sneer, and he flexes his claws.
What's wrong, Godwoken? Did the Seven turn you down too? Or are you here seeking even more power? I should strike you down where you stand, God-taint. Because it would be a kindness. I've known the power you feel, the promises you were made. I too was named Godwoken once. My God gave it all. Power, glory, hope. It was intoxicating, until she took it away.
Deep inside, you can feel Zor's Stissa stirring. You hear a faint chuckle. She remembers this one.
Unworthy, she said. Unworthy to be divine. So she gave it to another. What kind of a monster gives you that power only to strip it from you? To promise you will be the light of the world and then cast you into darkness? There was so much wrong with the world. So much that I needed to fix. So I sought power elsewhere. The Void said I could have eternal power. That I could be the light of the world. And it delivered. I have power unlike any Godwoken. Even if I lack my freedom. It laughed as I was sealed away in that lamp. Be the light of the world, Godwoken, it said. Even so. It was more honest than your hellish Seven. I may be bound to that lamp, but I can still strike you down with the thought. Other fools will find my prison. I will have my freedom someday. And until then, I am happy to do my bit to rid the world of one god's puppet. The next passing imbecile can have your wish. What? They turned on mortals? I knew they were mad, but that... I've suffered enough. Why would I ever want to return to a world doomed to suffer under the gods? I should have never left the lamp.
Smoke starts to whip around the base of his feet, creeping up to his body.
I will not repeat that mistake. Goodbye, Rivellon.
The smoke envelops the djinn completely before sinking back into the lamp's spout, leaving you alone with a silent, inert lamp.
What's this? I found something. Careful. I've spotted a trap.
The spirit looks out to sea, then to the fire roaring behind him, and whistles.
Ooh-wee! Pretty cunning of them, don't you think? Light the fire and draw 'em in. Lohar and his cronies, of course. Ships sail past, see a guiding flame, and sploosh! Wrecked on the rocks and their goodies spilling out. Saw a big un go down just the other day. Dare say those wreckers are drowning in contraband. No wonder Top Brass figured something was up. Those Arks fellows Raymond reports to. He's the one sent me here. I'm one of them, all right. Well, I was. But yeah, dwarf magisters are as rare as a three-eyed imp, but when you're hard up, well, sometimes you've got to make choices. Turns out the folks round Reaper's Cove don't take too kindly to magisters sneaking about. Especially not the dwarven kind. One of them was here tending to the fire. Got me before I got him. Never got to the fire. Now I'm stuck, and ships still crash. At least it's a pretty view. Aye.
Careful. I've spotted a trap. My blood is ice. The void is here. Where are you talking about void woken?
Master will be pleased.
big.
The spirit of the dwarven battle mage gazes upon the mutilated body that once housed her. As you approach, she turns confused eyes on you. She stares uncomprehendingly at your outstretched hand, slowly raising a bewildered gaze to meet your eyes. She stares, and you feel yourself drawn into the mesmerizing source pools of her eyes. With a jolt, her life flashes before your eyes. You become her in her prime, battling a felled magister in a deserted clearing. Electricity crackles from your fingers as you advance upon the magister. The magister is part of something dark, something cruel, something that goes against the very fabric of your being. All bets are off. Merciless, you attack her with spell and blade. As her warm blood spurts to cover your face, you are sated. A satiety you would never speak of, a satiety that momentarily fills the emptiness within you. Wait, who are you? You can't remember. You are thrust out of the spirit's memories and back into your own sovereign mind. You see the spirit of the dwarven battle mage before you, eyes downcast now. The spirit tugs and tugs at the source collar around his neck, though it budges not an inch.
We couldn't. I couldn't. Is it really our fault? The void woken.
He gives you a look full of hope, then remembers the collar round his neck and slumps forward, letting his hands hang heavy by his sides. You feel a tidal wave of panic drown you. You try to crawl away, but claws pin you down. You look up to see a fanged maw lunge at you. You You shift uncomfortably as the wagon traverses a patch of bumpy ground. The Magisters haven't removed your shackles, even though there's nowhere to run. You sigh and gaze outward. The landscape rolls past, empty and still. But then, you see something flying close to the horizon. Several things, in fact. You peer closer. What are those? Birds? Your eyes widen as they draw nearer. Those aren't birds. You turn around to shout a warning, but it's too late.